and you were very evasive about it. And you're being very evasive about it now. Here's my question for you, though. Are you happier to talk about the Monster Squad than than Kids Incorporated, or was that just kind of, what's been your experience looking back?
Which one do you think is cooler?
You want to know the real answer from somebody? Here's the thing. As a kid, watching Kids Incorporated and seeing other kids my age play music was very inspiring, and I still play music to this day. Now that said, I'm more prone to watch Monster Squad again than ever watch, that version of In Too Deep that Rashawn did was just, I just have very distinct memories of this. So anyway, I'll shut up. There you go.
Is there an Adults Incorporated this guy can be a part of? Brian,
Is that a question? Sure.
Didn't someone come up to you at Texas Frightmare with the Kids Incorporated cassette and had you sign it?
Yes.
Cool.
I had never seen a cassette of that before. I'd seen the LPs and things like that, but I'd never seen a cassette. So yeah, sure. You know what? The thing is, it's work. It was the very first thing I ever did in my life, professionally. It was the very first audition I ever went on. I wanted to do something professionally. And I went on this audition. It was a cattle call. And I just stood in line for hours. And I finally got in. I sang "Wake Me Up Before You Go" on a cassette that had, it was just instrumental version of it, so that I could sing it on my own. And I auditioned 4 times for that, and I got it. It was the first thing I ever did in my life, professionally. It started me off on this journey, on this whole thing I'm doing. And then 4 things later, I got Monster Squad. So it really put me in a position to figure out how to do this in front of a camera, how to be in front of a director, how to take direction, how to act against other people. So I'm wearing a sequin jacket. Yes, I'm wearing, I'm singing cheesy songs, and we're, it's a cheesy kids show that actually sort of helped people along the way, because it's got a lot of morals, and it's a beautiful show, actually. It's cheesy as hell, but it's amazing. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. So I love Monster Squad to death, but that was the thing that made me. That's the thing that put me on the cover of Teen Beat magazine.
Which reminds me of when we did a screening here, and Andre and I trolled you by putting all of your Teen Beat centerfolds up on the big screen.
I love that so
as you
much,
walked in.
and I hate you.
No, it was just Ryan.
And then we moved on. Any other questions?
All right, here's your question.
I was just going to ask if you have any fun stories from the audition process for this movie.
Well, I'll just continue. I walked in, I was wearing a leather jacket and Ray-Bans, and I asked Shane Black for a cigarette. I did the scene, and I walked out, and about 2 hours later, they called me and said, "You got it."
Wow. Yeah, I went in, and I was actually driving to San Francisco, and my agent called me and told me that they wanted to see me for this film. So I turned around and drove back to LA, went in, I had my bags and everything in my car outside. I was actually heading to San Francisco. And talked to the guys, and I said, "Okay, have a good time, have a good shoot, and take care, it was nice meeting you." And I got back in the car, and I'm headed to San Francisco, and I'm out of LA, going to San Francisco, and my agent called me and told me, "You got the part." So I had to turn around and go back to LA. I never got to San Francisco. But I got this thing up here. That's a pretty good trade-off.
Andre, what about you? I don't think I've ever heard your audition story. Well, some people probably know this story. I never auditioned for Sean Crenshaw.
Whoa.
My original call in and all my callbacks and producers and screen tests were all for Rudy.
Hey, wait a minute.
Because and there's a reason, because my body of work on TV and some other stuff leading up to that time was, you know, kind of like the cool hip kid with a leather jacket and great hair. I had great hair. Not anymore. I have hair, but I had great hair. And so I went in and read for that. Could I have? Did that like it? Oh, there you go. I thought I read it great, and because a couple, weeks later, they called and said, "Hey, that movie you read for a couple weeks ago, you got cast in it." And I was like, "Which one?" And they said, "The Monster Squad movie thing." I said, "Great." And they go, "But not the role that you read for." And as we all know as actors, that's usually not a good thing. They're like, "Oh, they liked you, but they gave you something else," and it's usually smaller. And I was like, "Oh no!" And they go, "No, it's a good. They just cast you as the lead. You're the Sean character, and you're the lead." And I went, "No, Rudy's the cool kid. He kills more monsters. He has the leather jacket. He shoots a bow. He gets the girl." I'm like, "Ah!" And I'm like, "No, this is a good thing." Now, after a couple weeks, hours of being frustrated and not understanding that, and then realizing, could I have played Rudy? Sure. I would have been sort of probably a little cornier, laid back, kind of Rudy, kind of bubbler. But I know exactly, over the years, I've realized that every single person that's in this movie, everybody read for this movie for all these other parts, and everybody ended up exactly where they're supposed to be. And the reason I know I write to Kid Rudy is because Ryan went in and murdered his audition. And they went, "That's it." And then luckily, as fortunate as I can ever be, someone in that group said, "Remember that kid we read for Rudy, but could he be Sean?" And I wasn't in the room with it, and they said yes. And that's one of the most fortunate things that's ever happened.
Wow. That's a great story.
I think there was a lot of Fred in Sean. Like, I think that he saw himself in you. Like,
Yeah.
he felt that was. I think Shane saw me in him. I thought that it was an amazing dynamic between the two characters that they had written, and I think it crossed over into our personal lives, because this is one of my best friends in the world. But I am so much cooler than you.
He ain't lying. Well, what about for you guys? Was it a physicality? Was it a stunt background? What kind of?
Yeah, for me, a friend of mine, I looked in this. There was in Variety, Variety magazine, and there was a small ad, and it said, "Looking for male, anorexic type." and it's kind of like, he says, "You should go for that." And I've always been like really super skinny, and it's like, he said, "Go for it." And so I made the call, and I auditioned. I actually went to the studio to audition, and Fred Decker was there, and someone else in there in some heated argument or something. He says, "Hey, how you doing?" He says, "Okay." He says, "Walk across the floor." And I walked across the floor, and I was dragging my feet and how much of the monsters I had seen, in the older movies and everything. He says, "Okay, now walk across the floor again, and do something with your hand." So like that. He says, "Okay." And then I did all this stuff with my shoulder and everything. He says, "Okay," and he's getting back to his argument, whatever. And he goes, "Okay." And he goes, "As far as I'm concerned, you got the part." And so I went back, and the following day I went to work, and I got this call. It says, "Hello, is this Michael Reed McKay?" I said, "Yes." He said, and this woman said, "Well, congratulations. You are going to play the part of the mummy in the Monster Squad." And I'm thinking, at that point, I went, I'm not in second. It goes, "We'll take care of everything." And I want to tell you again, congratulations. I hung up the phone, and I'm like, and a friend of mine is standing there, and he's looking at me and goes, "Mike, what? And And I said, I'm in a movie. And that's how I got to my
Wow. That's good. All right, we get time for one more, and we'll go up front. That way I just don't have to walk anymore.
Let me make a couple of comments.
Yes, please.
And then I'll
Yes.
pass it, because I might not get the chance to do this again. So today is my 80th birthday.
Woo!
And the reason I'm telling you that are two things. When I look back at all the work I've done over these years, I got that part in Monster Squad. I walked in, and the executive producer's name was Peter Yates. He said, "You're here because my wife saw your series called The American Dream, and you're the daddy in that, and she loves you. Do you want this part?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You got it. Goodbye." Now, I don't say that out of any kind of narcissism, because when I look back, probably some of my best work was ever done because I was really playing from my experience straight. I was a father, and I still am a father, grandfather. But more importantly, when I look back, I see that the film, even though it has a satire to it, has an ultimate, more important purpose. It shows that kids can dream big and can live up to probably the best values they have in themselves. And they can fight off the monsters of the world. And so the testament that I feel from my point of view is that my family here made a film that says the future is in your hands, dream big, and defeat the monsters of the world. You can do it.
Well said. Well said. All right. Last question. Here we go.
Well, I went to go see Monster Squad, I think opening weekend, because I was a Kids Incorporated fan.
Wait, you saw this in the theater?
I saw this in the theater.
Wow. You're the one.
Yes, I saw it in the theater. Now I am having my kids watch this movie, and I just want to say, Ryan Lambert, you brought me to this movie, but I absolutely love it, and my 3 kids have grown up watching it. I forced my sister to sing Kids Incorporated songs with me. I was in the fan club, so.
I dare you to sing the theme song right now.
Oh, God. My question is actually, can I have a picture with you?
What's that?
Ryan, may I have a picture with you?
Obvi, of course. We'll do it
Yeah,
after.
we'll do it right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it after. Okay, I
No,
know I
you
said...
have to, hang on. You have to sing it.
You said it.
You have to
Oh.
sing it.
This is
happening.
We'll do it together. We'll do it together. Ready?
Wait,
Just do the
hold on.
first part. Ready?
Hold on. We're getting on this on video, so I can blackmail Ryan later.
We're Kids Incorporated.
K-I-D-S!
Yeah, Kids Incorporated.
K-I-D-S!
Whoa.
Looks like we made it.
Kids Incorporated.
Meanwhile, the guy back there that asked the Kids Incorporated question was like, "Damn, that was supposed to be my
That's how we end the show.
I love Kids Incorporated
7
too!"
episodes of Kids Incorporated. Bye.
All right, I know I said last question, but I saw the tiniest, cutest hand go up. Are you ready to ask your question? Oh, okay. I see. I've been led here under manipulation of a child. All right.
So yeah, no, I just wanted to say something for all of the comments and one easy question. So I'm sorry you guys had the initial letdown when the film came out because I know you guys were very invested in it. I can tell from all the way you're acting, but we're all here passing the torches on to our kids. So this movie is going to be bigger than all of you. It's going to outlive all of you. So thank you for that. And then also for Duncan. You are the embodiment of Dracula for me, for a lot of people here. Like echoing what Andre said. Like, yeah, you're like for me. You're before I even saw Bela Lugosi. Like you are, you're Dracula. And also, you guys are for me also, the first group of kids